Yo guys, and welcome to the Misano track guide. After that 2015 WAG intro edit, we are directly gonna jump in onto the lap. My voice is a bit broken down because of some flu, but we are still gonna get into the lap, which was a 31.957 with the Mercedes. And I would say we immediately start in with turn 1. Quite a technical track. Misano is very difficult to get all the angles right in the round corners, so therefore you for turn 1 need to go to the outside as far as you can on the curb and steer and brake a bit before 50, like between 50 and 100, braking, steering at 50, not a lot of steer, and then a little more steering to go heavier over that curb. Before we downshift to second gear, that should be possible with any car. Rip around the steering to the left, get over that curb, go over both basically, and hit the throttle as soon as we can. So you see, after we release the brake, throttle immediately, that we don't lose grip, and take full throttle this should be clear. And then when that grass starts, we brake a bit before maybe, shift down to first, go to second in acceleration, out, in, in. That is quite a tricky section because you need momentum. The momentum you get from braking and getting a good steering point here is gonna be important for the whole straight until this corner here. So we want to, in a little braking, slow down to first gear. Hit that curb, not too much, but we want to hit it. First gear, and then shift up to second. Go out far. And then we want to get in far. Accelerate, fully hit the accelerator after being straight with the wheels. And then we want to steer to the left with an upshift to third gear. And then down the straight we go, far out here. For this corner we want to brake around at 100 meters. Steer at 50 and brake down to second gear. You can use first with some cars. With Beamer, for example, you should stay in third maybe, but second gear is generally speaking a good option. With a late steering entry, with a late apex for this corner, because we want to get on throttle as early as possible and get full throttle as early as possible. Here we are full throttle again and go up to the outside. So we get here, brake, down to second, throttle, full throttle, out and upshift on that straight. Then we got that corner, very tricky and technically demanding, like Spoon at Suzuka for example, very tough corner, but to make it easier we brake at the beginning of the curb on the right, so from the inside of the car. Getting here, we want to brake when that is gone from the vision. And then you need to stabilize the steering and get the momentum. That was a little late. You can take that curb here, but you don't need to. So with that way I got more grip out of it and better speed for the straight, but in the end you can take that inside curb and it is likely gonna be a bit faster in the aftermath, maybe half a tenth. But generally we want to brake at the beginning of the curb and then steer and go over that curb or not, but definitely want to hit the throttle as early as possible. Go to third. And up to sixth on that straight. Full throttle here. And braking a bit before that first line. With a straight steering wheel, so it is very important to have it stabilized. Going through this section and then braking, stabilized steering, and one steering input over that curb to the outside. You can take more of that curb. I didn't because I hit entry a little late, but that was quite fine because that also guaranteed a little stability for the braking zone here. And then, see, we brake down from 6th to 2nd gear basically in no time after a quick acceleration in 4th gear, but we then brake down to 2nd. We don't want to touch that inside curb too much. We can go over it a little, but don't want too much because it is very bumpy. Like it is extremely yes, bumpy. And ultimately we want to get to 2nd first, and before we accelerate to 2nd, or with the acceleration at least, and then hit the throttle facing the people there, that we can get the best possible grip out of the corner. Full throttle with some nice line on the road here, some good tire smoke, but in quali that's fine. And get on the throttle to the outside here, can go on the green, and then one rapid steering, that we can take this kink full throttle over the inside, no problem. Then get out and brake a bit before 50, like when the curb starts we brake. Go out, 2nd gear, in Beamer 3rd gear. Light left steering input, and then throttle over that curb and out. You can take a bit more of that curb, but it is not really needed. And then we have done one lap around Misano.